And welcome to the HS Game Time Live Blitz. I'm Fernandez. This is the big ticket, Kyle Glaser, KG. Happy holidays.
Same to you, Pat.
Merry Christmas, and also Happy Hanukkah to everyone out there. You know, it's the holidays, and we can ask the people at our fine sponsor, Adrenaline, to show up on Christmas Eve, right? So,
exactly. We want to let them spend the time with their families. So, but hey, we got a studio. Why not do it here?
We did. So we've got a lot to talk about because the holiday season is just chock full of basketball tournaments. So we want to thank Adrenaline. We'll be back there at their place next week. But right now, we're here in the studio talking hoops. And Kyle, a lot of big boys basketball tournaments. Some of our local teams, very good state, nationally ranked, and they're going to some big tournaments where they'll see some good competition as well.
Absolutely. The headliner tournament is the Under Armour Holiday Classic hosted by Torrey Pines, my alma mater, down in San Diego. And Corona Centennial is playing in the national division. Now, this is a division chock full of some of the best teams in the entire nation. Wherever you go, you're going to be seeing a ranked team pretty much. Centennial's opening game is against the number 14 team in the state, Cantwell Sacred Heart. So, I mean, right off the bat, they're looking at playing teams ranked in both the state and the nation.
And Centennial's coming off a big win up in Sacramento, right? What was it, the St. Hope, something like that classic?
St. Hope Elite Classic, which was definitely impressive.
Yeah.
They beat Capital Christian, which I believe was also
Sacramento area, right?
Pretty highly ranked, top 12 or so. So Centennial, you know, there's a lot of hype around this team. They had an early playoff exit last year to Silverado, which you might remember. And right now, they're ranked number 5 in the state. They've got 2 great Division I prospects in Deontay North and Cedric Bearfield. This is going to be the stiffest test they faced all year in this tournament. Truthfully, as good as the Big 8 is, this will probably be the stiffest test they face until they go to the D1AA playoffs or maybe even the Open Division playoffs.
I remember 2 years ago when they were talking about this team, they said, well, we've got some young guys at Centennial, you just wait. Seems like their time is now for sure for the Huskies. Max Preps out in the desert, Palm Springs, Palm Desert, a lot of the different high schools out there. Some big-time teams, and we've got a lot of teams out there in the different divisions.
We absolutely do. 14 different teams are playing in this tournament. We don't have any teams in the Invitational division. Now, that's the top bracket, if you will, where all the top teams go. But we do have some teams in the second and third brackets. North and King are the 2 best teams from our area that'll be participating. They've got some good matchups as well. North is going to face a very good Folsom team. Paris has a really good test against Thousand Oaks. There's also going to be a lot to learn from this tournament. While it's not quite at the same level as the Under Armour Classic over at Torrey Pines, there's still a lot of good teams, a lot of good players. And you look at teams like North and King, all the way to Colton and Miller and Paris. How they perform here, I think, will tell us a lot about the true quality of team they are as they head into both league season, and then also gives us a good barometer of what to expect come playoff time.
And Kyle, some tournaments a little bit closer to home. At Paloma Valley, there's a pretty good one. They've got some local teams there, including Elsinore, defending champion.
Yeah, Elsinore, they've been hot and cold. They went 2-2 at the North County Classic down in northern San Diego last week. They looked pretty good, beating Temecula Valley, and then they went and got thumped by La Costa Canyon. Also had a surprising loss to Cajon. So Elsinore, we're still trying to figure out how good this team is. This is a tournament, they're the defending champs, and they probably should win when you look at the rest of the field. With that said, you can't take anything for granted, especially you're asking this team to play 4 games in 5 days, and you look down the schedule, they haven't put together 4 straight good games yet. This is going to be their first chance to show us they can do that as they head into Sunbelt League play with Paris, and Temescal Canyon might be worth watching as well. It's not a bad league, and Elsinore is going to need all the momentum they can get going into it.
Speaking of the Tigers, we're looking at some video from last week at that North County tournament. You know, Temecula Valley, a team that we have a lot of respect for, a lot of talent on that team. They beat them by 3. It came down to this 3-point attempt at the end. The Golden Bears had a chance to tie it, force overtime. They did not hit, and Elsinore, as you said, went on to the championship game to lose to La Costa Canyon. So that is, the Tigers will be at that Paloma Valley tournament. And how about the San Bernardino Kiwanis tournament? A lot of San Bernardino schools heading that way.
Absolutely. Redlands East Valley, they're 8-3. Their losses have come to really good teams. Eli Chuas, 40 points in 2 games last week. One of the best players in the area no one's talking about. Rev's big man. They're the top seed in this bracket. They're the favorite going in. Couple teams to watch. Cajon, they're 3-6, but that's against a very, very tough schedule. We mentioned they beat Elsinore. A couple of those losses have been very close. They're another team to watch. They could end up in the championship. One team I'm curious to see is Beaumont. They're the defending Mountain Pass League champion. Lost a lot of good players, and so I think the general consensus going into league play is that they might not even be top 3 with Tahquitz, West Valley, and Hemet, and San Jacinto even all doing great. If Beaumont comes in and they can beat Rev in a possible second round matchup, now we're talking about a team that all of a sudden I think becomes a contender in the Mountain Pass League. If they go out and lose to the really good teams in this bracket, might be a little bit of a tougher outlook for Beaumont.
So we could be seeing a Citrus Belt League preview for a championship with Cajon and Rev out there.
I think that's the favorite matchup right now. Harupa Hills is a decent team worth watching. You know, Pacific is undefeated. Now, they haven't played anyone all that great, so it'll be interesting to see how they do against bigger and better competition. But there's definitely a couple teams in here that could definitely surprise. But if I was a betting man, I'd have to put Rev Cajon, but we'll see.
All right, from San Bernardino all the way down to Temecula, the Linfield Cage Classic, some local teams down there as well, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a really cool small school tournament. Linfield Christian has been a power for a long time in boys basketball. Woodcrest Christian's also a pretty good team. Cal Military, you know, they've been respectable over the years. So we'll see how all those teams fare as we head into, you know, Ambassador and Warrior League play. 2 larger schools are down there, Rubidoux and Heritage. Now, these schools are combined 3-11. They haven't played well, and there's not a very rich basketball history, at least in recent years, at these 2 schools. We're going to find out, you know, if these 2 schools can't compete with schools a fifth of their size, we'll have an idea about, you know, what kind of year they might be in for going into Sunbelt or River Valley League play. If these 2 schools go in and wallop them, then we'll know a little more. I think that's going to be the thing to watch, is how do Heritage and Rubidoux fare against these schools that, like I said, are, you know, a fifth their size in some cases.
Now, these are tournaments in our own backyard. Some schools punching their airplane tickets and going across the country, right, for some big-time tournaments.
Yeah, so Roosevelt and Vista Marietta going to Florida.
Of course.
Vista Marietta going KSA Holiday Classic in Orlando around Disney World. It's,
all right.
Pretty cool tournament. I mean, a lot of
can't
teams
complain.
from really up and down the eastern seaboard and the Midwest that are pretty good. Not a whole lot of California teams, but a couple are there. Then Roosevelt is going to Ocala, not that I know where that is, the Kingdom of the Sun tournament, which I must say is a really cool name. They're playing 4 different states are represented in that tournament. And we'll see how the Mustangs do. They're off to a 9-1 start. I think they're probably the early surprise of the year.
And also they lost Justin Simon, who's now at Temecula Valley. So.
Right, and their only loss came to Etowanda, who, oh, by the way, is probably one of the best teams in the nation.
Correct.
So Roosevelt, you know, if they can go cross country and hold their own against teams from 4 states, has a chance to be an impressive run for the Mustangs.
And hopefully do some sightseeing, right? You can't go all that way and not see anything.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens. You know, there's a couple other things. The Covina Christmas Classic, we'll have some teams in there. San Bernardino's playing in an interesting tournament down in Fullerton where they might have a chance to play Mater Dei in the championship game.
That'll be easy. San
Bernardino, they've been traveling. You know, they're doing tournaments on their own thing. They were just in Las Vegas for a Jerry Tarkanian Classic.
Oh, wow.
So the Cardinals are worth watching. I think they fly under the radar. But if they can go in and they've taken on Clovis West, I believe, some good teams show up in Fresno, some good Orange County teams. That's another team I think to watch if you're looking for what can the tournaments tell us heading into the home stretch and into league play.
All right, look out for Cardinal City, USA. See what San Bernardino High School can do this season. Definitely be tested at that tournament. Now to girls hoops. Just like the boys, a lot of holiday hoops tournaments coming your way for the next week or two. And a couple right here in our backyard. We'll start with the Lady Rams winter shootout at Ramona High School. Now, last season, Ramona made the playoffs, but making the playoffs just not good enough anymore at Ramona High School. They want to take that next level. They want to win a playoff game. They want to challenge for a league championship. We caught up with the Rams on Christmas Eve because between now and the day after Christmas when their tournament starts, this was the last practice to actually fine-tune some things and work some things out because there's some very good teams at the shootout. So let's hear from the Lady Rams on Christmas Eve as they get ready for their own winter shootout.
We're young. We're just trying to get better, man. We picked a hard preseason schedule, a couple good tournaments for us. We're 4-5 right now, but we got 3 losses that are by 3 points. So we're just trying to get those growing pains and get those lumps out now so when we come to league, we'll be ready to go. We're trying to get to that next step, that next level, and win a game. We've the 3 points is our number. We've lost both of our playoff games by 3 points, but just getting there. Before I was here, it's been years since Ramona was in. I think 2004 was the last time they were in the playoffs. So we're just happy to get there and let these girls know that playoffs is our goal, but now winning a game is in playoffs is a bigger goal now. For once, we've been a real perimeter-oriented team, you know, and shoot a lot of threes and have fun that way. But this year, We got bigs this year, and so we're trying to use our bigs and get them used to it. We got 2 juniors that we really lean on a lot, Sienna Linton and China Burris, and we lean on them a lot, and we're just trying to get them to understand what their roles are, and they're not just here to rebound threes now. They're here and they got to get the ball in the post and they got to score some buckets. So we're working on them too. We have Takira, who's also a senior, 3rd-year varsity player, and she's doing a really good job leading Takira Williams. So we're just trying to get them cranked up and ready to go and get all the kinks worked out before we get to league, because that's really what it's about, is league, and you want to represent well with the schools that you see all the time.
I'm really excited, and we're doing okay. We could do better, I guess. Yeah.
Now, you guys have made the playoffs the last 2 years, Coach said. He's hoping this year's team will take that next step and win a playoff game. I mean, is that kind of the goals right now?
Yes.
What's it going to take to achieve those goals?
Probably just hard work and making sure we don't mess around in practice. Season has been really difficult. We've had a lot of close games. Like, we've lost a lot of games by 3 to 4 points. So it's all about pushing ourselves now. We have a lot of girls on our team now that weren't there last year, so it takes a lot of pushing them and trying to get them used to playing on the type of levels that playoff games are. A lot of heart too and determination, basically.
We're young.
So Ramona opens their winter shootout against Paloma Valley on Thursday at 3 o'clock. And Kyle, while I was out there talking to the Lady Rams, one of their former players back in town, it was Jasmine Miller. She's now at the West Point Academy. Pretty big time stuff for Army.
Definitely.
She was a basketball star at Ramona. She also played volleyball, but she went to Army to run track. I guess she's doing the 400 meters out there for Army, and also
She's quite an athlete.
Yeah, she did it all. She said when she came back home, she got with the team and kind of realized how much she missed basketball, but said the girls at Army are pretty big and pretty strong, so she's happy just running track and doing the 400 meters. But we caught up with her to also ask her about, the whole West Point experience, as well as what's coming up for her with the upcoming track season.
I didn't really know what to expect, so it was kind of a surprise either way, but it was a little bit tough, but I enjoyed it. It was good, character building and everything.
Do you miss basketball at all?
Yeah, I actually do. It's been a little bit different because I did 3 sports in high school, and now it's just track, so I don't get to play volleyball and basketball, and I miss it a lot.
Is it kind of nice being home, get a little break?
Yeah, the weather here is so much better. Back there, we had a foot of snow in 1 weekend. It's crazy. I'm not used to it.
How long do you get to be home for?
I'm just home for 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Was it always a dream of yours to serve this country, or how did the Army kind of come about?
So in high school, I was an avid, and the big thing for them was determining our future, what we wanted to do, to have a plan, or else we wouldn't get to it unless we had the plan already set. And about my sophomore year, I got interested in joining the military. I was planning on joining Air Force, doing ROTC at college, but I filled out an online questionnaire for West Point, and the track coach started recruiting me, and I.
Well, Kyle, as you mentioned, whether it's a boys tournament or a girls tournament, you'll find out who you are in these preseason holiday tournaments, whether you're battle tested or you know exactly where you need to get better as you head into league play, right?
Exactly. You really get to work out the kinks, in some cases against some of the best teams in the state or the country. And you really, I think this is a chance to bond. For a lot of these teams, they've been through the first couple games together, they've felt each other out, gotten the chemistry down. Now's the time to really hit their stride. And I feel like for certain teams, this is the point where you build a ton of confidence. You go in, everything's clicking, you've worked out some of the kinks that come with, the first 2 or 3 games. You bond as a team, and you hit league play hard. I think this is a time where, some teams say, oh, nothing really counts until league play. I couldn't disagree more, particularly in basketball where we have 30-game seasons. You've got to hit your stride early, and if you can go into league running as opposed to wait 2 weeks in to figure something out, you're going to have a distinct advantage really for the entire rest of the season. Certainly a good learning time in these holiday tournaments. And speaking of getting ready for league and maybe playing some of the best teams in the state as well as the nation, King girls getting ready to play Santiago in the Big 8, who's one of those best teams in the country caliber teams. Santiago, we're now in the post-Crochet Row era, which normally would be daunting, but you've got Monique Billings, who's a 5-star recruit. One star to the next. Paris Johnson is another Division Paris Jones, excuse me, another Division I college athlete. We know David Wolf can coach. So Santiago, very quietly almost, I think too quietly, you could argue, had the most impressive 2013 calendar year of any program in any sport in the inland area. Just, winning D1 AA, getting to the semis. It was just an absolutely incredible year. And now we'll see if they can keep it going. The Big Eight's always tough in every sport. We'll find out what the Sharks are made of. And, this is now the AC era after Crochet.
Now, the Sharks are certainly that team to beat in the Big 8 League. A number of teams, Centennial, Norco, King could be one of those schools. Corona gunning for Santiago, trying to knock them off the perch in the Big 8 League. King coming off a tournament title at the East Valley Invitational. We're looking at video when they beat Murrieta Valley, which is a defending CIF champion as well.
And once again, this is exactly what I'm talking about. They went into a tournament, played a defending CIF champion from a really good league, and found they could not only compete, but win. This will do wonders for them when they do have to play Santiago's and the Centennials of the world.
Exactly.
This is exactly what you want if you're a team, especially one in a tough league.
So King won the East Valley Invitational. Now they've got that Ramona Winter Shootout coming out. They're one of those schools that we heard from the Lady Rams. They want to play some very good teams and be battle tested before they head to River Valley League. And King's one of those schools. King now going to that winter shootout. They've got Santiago right around the corner in Big 8 League action. We talked to the Wolves head coach, Jesus Martinez, to talk about that bullseye on Santiago's back and which of these schools, who's going to finally knock off Santiago in terms of league play.
It's still the team to beat, Santiago Centennial. I want to get my girls back healthy. Bench players are stepping up right now. I got 2 freshmen in there starting, 3 players hurt. 1 ineligible. Hopefully in about a couple of weeks we get those people back and we get it together. We're coming from Santiago. We're going to try. They set the bar and we're coming for them. We're going to try it.
Beat right in the Big 8?
So Jesus Martinez at King High School feeling very optimistic coming off that East Valley Invitational Championship. And as you mentioned, beating a very good Murrieta Valley squad who won CIF last year. The Nighthawks are young. They lost a lot of good players, but they got some players back, including their point guard, Ariana Hernandez. The other tournament, Kyle, I wanted to touch on real quick for the girls is the Lady Bears Holiday Classic at Riverside Poly. Some great games there. Right out of the gate, you've got Yucaipa and the Rancho Verde playing the early game on Thursday, and it culminates with that late game, Sanji against the host school, Riverside Poly Bears. That starts Thursday, and a lot of these tournaments that start the day after Christmas end up playing their championship games on Monday. So
we saw the Riverside Poly boys win a tournament they were hosting, the Riverside Kiwanis. Let's see if the girls can do it on their end.
That's right. In soccer, too, they've also got the holiday tournaments going on. The big one has been the San Gorgonio Shootout at the San Bernardino Soccer Complex. If you've been out there, Kyle, it's wall-to-wall soccer.
Yeah.
Have you been out there? It's easy to get confused.
You feel like you're stepping into a new city. You're no longer in San Bernardino. You're in Soccer City. Everywhere you look, teams and uniforms and everything.
Yeah, so many different division levels, and you've got this game over here, and this pool, and this one over here, and the winner goes over to this field, and
you feel a little ADD, almost like here, going all over the place. It's almost overwhelming.
When you have a video camera, the secret is you park in between 4 corners of the fields, and you just rotate like this to whoever. Oh, that guy's attacking on net. Boom, go over here. So the San G Shootout also starting the day after Christmas, and Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, I'm planning to head out there and get some action from that tournament as well. A lot of great schools out there. I know San G will be out there. They're very good. Redlands East Valley has always fared well at the San G Shootout, so a lot of good schools.
One thing to watch for that is a lot of years, it's a very cold tournament. It's December. You're right there in San Bernardino. This year, the temperature, it's expected to be kind of warm out there. So it'll be interesting to see how the teams fare with that. The fatigue. You're playing so many games in such a short period of time. I think fatigue might play a larger factor this year than maybe it has in previous years.
Yeah, my weather app's saying low mid-70s for this tournament.
And that's pretty warm for right now. I mean,
absolutely.
I've heard stories, I haven't witnessed it, but stories where they're going, it's 50 and they're bundled up, so we'll see.
Not this year, but maybe they'll enjoy that break from the nasty weather we might have here in this time of December. And finally, you're a baseball guy. I'm a baseball guy. Have you ever thought about getting... Now, I'm not saying you're going to propose to your girlfriend anytime soon. I'm just saying, if you were going to get married, would you do it on a baseball diamond?
As much as I love the game of baseball and I consider the diamond my second home,
yes.
I don't think I could do that. I don't know. I respect people who do, but I don't know. It hasn't something that's been personally appealing to me. But I think it's really cool for the people who do get married on the diamond.
And people who do get married on the diamond, including This guy, Citrus Valley head coach Ron Carmody, that's him accepting his Inland Empire Baseball Coaches Association award. And he had a big weekend. He got his award on Friday night. And then on Sunday, there's the picture. He married his fiancee, Heather, on the Citrus Valley High School baseball diamond. He had to prepare the field, he said, just like if he was getting ready for a game. He had to mow the lawn, chalk the lines, do all that. But if you've been out there, Kyle, it's got a great setting. I mean, the mountains in the background. It was a great day. The weather was perfect.
That's a beautiful field. And, you know, Coach Carmody obviously took the Blackhawks to the CIF Division V championship game a year ago. And really well-liked guy. You know, you talk around the Inland Empire, you get a feel for the coaches. Ron's definitely a well-respected guy. So, like you said, quite a weekend. I mean, that's a big award. There's a lot of great coaches in this area. And he gets that, goes and gets married. That's a pretty solid weekend.
Pretty big weekend. Let's hear from...
And then Christmas right after that.
You know what? That might be the week of his life. He's really living it up right now. So let's hear from Coach Carmody. I caught up with him on Friday, and he kind of talked about his decision to go into getting married on the baseball field, which you probably guessed his wife is a huge baseball fan as well, because that probably wouldn't fly with, you know, your soon-to-be wife who's not a baseball fan.
I'd say picking a girl as a baseball fan is always a good plan. Good job, Ron.
All right, here's Coach.
She is, she's a Giants fan. I'm a Cardinals fan. So last year during the playoffs when they beat us, we didn't talk too much during that time, or beat the Cardinals. And it's exciting getting married Sunday. It's kind of worked out that her family is going to be in town from Georgia and up in San Francisco, so we thought we'd do that right before Christmas and kind of kill two birds with one stone. And she also knows that during January when we come back into school that she's going to be a baseball widow for a little while, and she's used to that too. So.
Well, are you getting married on a field around here? Or?
Yes, we're getting married on my varsity baseball field. It just happens to have a really nice scenic view, and kind of just, I don't know, it was kind of a joke that I said, and then we just ran with it.
All right, Kyle, so he said he's a Cardinals fan. His wife, Heather, is a Giants fan. So they see eye to eye on most everything except for their favorite baseball team, but that's okay.
Hey, you know, those teams have met in the NLCS a few times, but hey, they're both successful. At least they're not in the same division. Then it could get real nasty. I do want to say, I love the baseball vibe out in Redlands. I mean, James Cordes, Estevan Valencia, Ron Carmody, those are three of the best coaches in the Inland Empire you'll find. Baseball lifers all the way around. There's definitely a real good love and passion for the game out there. And, you know, while you'd like to think all the coaches around love it, there's some you can just tell have that extra thing for
Absolutely.
it. So I'm not surprised that Ron Carmody got married on a baseball diamond.
And Citrus Valley will be league rivals with those schools you mentioned next season.
It'll be interesting to see how they handle that jump, because the CBL, that's a doozy, especially in baseball.
Well, I figure if having different favorite Major League Baseball teams is the worst problem you have, you're going to have a pretty good marriage overall.
Although, I don't know, sometimes that Yankees-Red Sox could bring other problems.
Yeah, at least it's not Giants-Dodgers or something like that.
Right, so. I think they're okay.
All right, so congratulations to Ron Carmody and his wife, Heather, for tying the knot on the baseball diamond. In fact, Kyle, I like to say it was Black Hawk down the aisle. Did you get it? Yeah, okay, thank you. I wrote that as my headline. I wrote something for the newspaper, but they changed it. But that's okay. I liked mine, though. All right, so congratulations to them. And thanks to Adrenaline Athletic Training for sponsoring the show once again. We really appreciate their involvement here at HS Game Time, and we'll be back at their training facility next Wednesday with the Blitz. I'm Pep Fernandez. That's Kyle Glaser, and we will see you next time from HS Game Time and the Blitz.
Happy holidays, everyone.